What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Paranormal Diaries. It is Tuesday, the 29th of September. Had a lot going on. Just finishing up editing the Thursday podcast. Will be coming out on Thursday. Uh, but I had some things on my mind, just for the mere fact of I wanted to go further on the podcast with Kelly from Kelly Unexplained. We talked about something that really made me, I brought something up and we kind of discussed it. We beat around the bush a little bit on it, and I didn't really dive into it too hard, but I thought I'd go ahead and dive into it here a little bit, and that is paranormal doubt. I have been really struggling here lately, honestly. I'm a believer, but I'm not a true believer. I believe that there is something else out there. This world is way too fascinating and way too complex to just be what it appears to be on the surface. I do have faith that there is something after we are done on this time. Our spirit, our consciousness is more than just something that's manufactured in our brain. I do believe in good and evil. I do believe in spirituality. I do believe in this kind of stuff. I think there is more to life than just living day by day. And this comes from my entire life experiences, and I came from the place of the paranormal or supernatural type stuff, or things you can't explain. What we categorize as paranormal is all around us. I mean, I've had experiences as long as I can remember, up until I've preached on this and said it a million times on the podcast, on many different episodes. I've had experiences in just about every place that I've ever lived, including the place right before my last move. And some of that activity at that place was very, over the last 10 years, the 10 years before I moved, was pretty active. I got a lot of stuff and had a lot of experiences. Now, I wasn't trying to document anything. I wasn't trying to do any of that. I wasn't investigating the paranormal at that time. I just had an interest in the paranormal. I understood, or had a good grasp of what it was. Nobody understands it completely, naturally, because nobody knows what truly it is and what's truly out there and what it's all about. But I thought it was all over the place. I thought that was common. I really believed it was common. And then when I decided to do this podcast and I really didn't even intend on doing paranormal investigations. I just, was starting the podcast to talk about the paranormal, and I reached out to some groups, and I ended up going out with the Cincinnati Ghost Chasers, and I was hooked. I wasn't hooked, but I knew paranormal investigating wasn't truly like what is represented in, the ghost adventures, the ghost hunters. It can be close, but it's condensed down. I knew that wasn't what it was really like. I knew it was like fishing. Most of your time is spent doing nothing. You don't get much. I knew it wasn't going to be bam, 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 paranormal activity, paranormal activity, paranormal activity. No, I knew it wasn't going to be like that. But, and the funny thing is, my first official investigation, it was loaded with activity. We got an abundance of stuff, and I captured, and I was taking, pictures with my camera, still photography, in the dark, just the flash going, completely black, pitch black dark. The only light was the flash from my camera. And when I got back, I'll get to that in a second. But throughout the night, we heard some weird noises, had some interesting ghost box responses, which, ghost boxes, it is what it is. Juries will always be out on the ghost box because of how it operates. There's always going to be doubt because of it's picking up actual radio signals from, now can spirits manipulate that? if it's going in reverse, how it's scanning. Are we just hearing it and drawing conclusions? I do think there is something to it. I'm not saying it's 100% by any stretch of any imagination, but I am saying that there could be something to it. So I take that for what it's worth. But we got some interesting responses, weird noises, weird knocks, overall eerie feelings, the energy. You could feel the fluctuation and heaviness of the atmosphere. So I was pumped after that investigation. And then when I was analyzing my recordings and then analyzing the photographs that I took, I was even more pumped because I caught a shadow figure. In one of the pictures, there was a shadow figure. You can go follow me on Twitter at @night_ghost. It's there somewhere. Any my YouTube video, I think I even talked about it down the beginning of the podcast, first 10 episodes, somewhere in the first 10 episodes, I believe. But, I was like, wow, this is what paranormal investigating is. And it kind of not lived up to the hype. It's what I expected because I had been so exposed to it and had so many unexplainable experiences throughout my life. But as now I'm 2 years into this podcast, 2 years into doing investigations, that's the exception, not the rule. And it's frustrating when you are used to and you think that the paranormal, isn't as prevalent. It's frustrating when you think that when you find out what you have assumed your entire life, that everybody experiences the same kind of stuff you have. That's just, that's young and being stupid, but it's not like that. And I was frustrated that going on investigations that you don't get anything. It's a place with a reputation, and you don't experience anything. You don't even get any dread, any feelings of being scared or just eerie feelings. It's just like you're in your own living room. It started to wear on me, and not every place I've been to has been like that, but my point is I've realized paranormal is not as common as what I thought it was from my experiences. And it made me start to doubt. Maybe this is just a bunch of malarkey. Maybe this is us. Maybe we are wrong. Maybe the paranormal is just what we don't understand yet. It's things we haven't put two and two together yet, and science hasn't caught up to or figured it out or hasn't given us a good enough explanation yet. Maybe. And I've always said I'm not married to the paranormal. I'm not married to the supernatural. I'm not married to the spirit world concepts, any of those concepts. But I have gotten a little doubtful here recently. Now, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? That's the question. Does it, I talk about skeptics, and there's a difference between being skeptical and being cynical. Am I moving closer to the cynical side of it? That's the question. I don't know. I mean, I honestly, to my core, still believe there is such a thing as the spirit world. There are multiple dimensions, I believe. There's something else to this universe, to this world, whatever. And there's just too many questions that science hasn't given a good enough answer to yet. And that, like I said, they might. So I don't know. I'm fighting this self-doubt, essentially. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm going to turn full-blown skeptic. No, I'm still always going to believe that there is something to it. But maybe 90% of what we think is paranormal is not paranormal. Maybe, I don't know. This is just me rambling. I'm trying to work some stuff out in my own head. So if you want, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Give me your 2 cents worth on the topic. And I guess I'll finish it. I'll call this one done. I don't know. Yeah, we're going to call this one done. Take care, everybody.